Hi, shalom friends. Can you see a difference between someone who's looking for keys or someone who lost keys? I'm trying to find my keys. Is there a difference between that and I lost my keys? I think there is a big difference. When a person says, I'm trying to find my keys, he has a really good idea of where it might be. It could be on the desk, could be in a drawer, and he's looking, and then to his surprise, and with a little bit of chagrin, he says, oh, it was in my pants pocket the whole time. But if you lose keys, essentially, where are you going to look? I lost them. Now, bear with me. What happens if you visit someone who, heaven forbid, just buried his father? You come to make a shiva call. He's sitting on the floor. He's very sad. And he says, I just lost my father. And you're thinking right away, you lost your father? You just came from the funeral. You know exactly where he's buried. You know the plot number. So what do you mean you lost your father? He's not lost. You know where he is. And as far as the soul, you know where that is as well. It's on a journey upwards. So how do you lose a father? What he means to say is, I came home and I did not find him. I did not encounter him. But the father is not lost. Here's a common mistake. If you ask someone that reads the Bible, okay, so you say, where did the Hebrews go after they were redeemed from Egypt? And they'll say, they wandered 40 years in the desert until they came to the promised land. They wandered? You know what wandered means? Wandered means walking aimlessly. There's no destination. Here, in verse 21, chapter 13 of Exodus. And God went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to guide them along their route, and at night in a pillar of fire to give them light so they could travel day and night. And he did not move away the pillar of cloud by day until he brought the pillar of fire at night. So it says very clearly they weren't wandering. God was leading them. Moses was guiding them. I don't know, to me that sounds much better than a GPS. There's a beautiful midrash which really sheds light on this. There was a fellow who was walking near the seashore, and he was looking through the sand. So someone asked him, what are you looking for? So he said, I'm looking for a lost diamond. So he says, you think the diamond is lost? The diamond is a diamond wherever it is. You're not looking for a lost diamond. You are looking for a diamond. You can't find it. But is the diamond lost? I think every one of us probably has heard stories or read books of the lost treasure. It's not lost. It's there. So you want to find the buried treasure, but it's not lost. Where am I going with all of this? Well, when we look at Jewish history, sometimes we might say we're the wandering Jew. In the continent of Europe, we've gone from one country to another. We've been expelled. All over the world, Jews have been and then left. We were in Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Yemen, Germany, Ukraine, France, England. All of these places we were, and then we were kicked out and expelled, and then we came to another place, and we are the wandering Jew. And that is so incorrect. We're not the wandering Jews. We are Jews that are being guided and led by the Almighty. And if we have to be in Spain for 400 years, that's where we're supposed to be to develop. And when God says, you have fulfilled your mission, then we leave. How we leave is all a mystery. Sometimes it's with an inquisition, and sometimes it is to find a better place, to come to the golden country. So it's a step upwards. But in any case, and in either way, we are being led. We are not just haphazardly or randomly being kicked away. I actually would like to read into a verse this thought. Because in the verse that I mentioned, in chapter 13, verse 21, it says that when you read the Hebrew, it sounds very interesting, because it says that there was a pillar by day, there was a cloud by day, and there was a pillar of fire by night, in order to enable them to travel. It almost sounds like they traveled at night, because God gave them the pillar of fire to travel. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean that. It means that at night there's no electricity, so God provided illumination for them, and therefore they were able to rest comfortably. They were not frightened to be in a dark wilderness. And then when the sun rose, Hashem led them with a pillar of cloud. But perhaps we could read into it just a little bit deeper. And that is, even when there was night, even when there was a lack of clarity of vision, is God with us or not? Hashem reassured them, I am with you. As a matter of fact, even at night, not only will you know that I am there, but to a certain extent, it will become eminently clear that you could only exist at night because I am watching over you. And that's the idea of the fire. Things are happening so quickly in the world that it's really hard to put our fingers to understand anything. Yesterday's news is cold because today there's a new development and a new statement and a new crisis and a new this and a new that. What we have to know is that there is a design. You know, if I told you the word night, how many hours is a night? Well, for one thing, there's a big difference between a winter night, which might begin at 5 o'clock, 5:30, and a summer night. It also makes a difference where you are in a location. And we have extremes where there doesn't seem to be any night or there doesn't seem to be any day. Night has a lot of different connotations of how long it has to be. How long does it have to take? So I would just simply remind myself as well as you, the night of Golos, the night of exile, is ending. There's already, and there has been for a while, the glimmer of light. This dawn certainly has happened. We're waiting for sunrise. And at all times, we have to take solace, comfort, and encouragement. God is with us day and night. During the day, you might see it as a pillar of a cloud leading us. And at night, when it's really dark and dismal, He assures us that He is there, not any less. As a matter of fact, perhaps even more, because the metaphor is a blazing fire. So friends, let's reinvigorate our belief and confidence that we will soon be redeemed with the righteous Mashiach. The question is not will we, the question merely is how prepared will we be. Shalom.